knock it off with them negative waves? Why don't you dig how beautiful it is out here? Why don't you say something righteous and hopeful for a change? Crap.
How's it going out there, everyone? Today, we are going to do something other than talking about Starfleet Academy.
No way. No way.
That's right, everyone. We are going to take a break from Starfleet Academy. Just to let the air out of the room or out of the channel, because my channel, not only my channel, but other YouTube channels out there, we really dive hard into tearing Academy apart because honestly, in my opinion, it deserves it. But that's not what we're here about today. I'm here today just to prove to all those people out there who are complaining on my channel that I am just being too negative about it. I'm not being intellectually honest. I'm being a hater of Starfleet Academy, and that nothing else that I say about Star Trek is wrong. In other words, they say that I can rip Starfleet Academy apart, Kurtzman Trek apart, but I don't do anything bad or point out anything negative about the original series or the movies or anything that came after it. Well, we are going to prove you wrong on this channel today. We're going to talk about the 1984 release, Star Trek III: The Search for Spock. Honestly, it is my favorite of all the original Trek movies. Yes, the Wrath of Khan is fantastic, but I think The Search for Spock was a great movie. I love it, and I never get bored watching it. However, there is one particular scene in this movie that to this day still has me asking questions, and maybe it's nitpicking, but it still is worth a discussion. First, let's talk about these geniuses right here.
The Klingons have never been trustworthy.
Okay, so by the time The Search for Spock has come out, the Klingons definitely have a reputation for being treacherous, dishonest, and warlike. And these geniuses here, paid by a female Klingon, Valkyris, are going to deliver top secret information to the Klingons, and they don't think anything bad is going to happen to them?
What the hell's going on? When do I get paid off?
Soon, Captain. Quite soon.
This may sound cold, but these guys got exactly what they deserve for their ignorance and their stupidity in this scene. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to try and be fair about this, intellectually honest. And it's quite possible that Valkyris never told them that the person they were delivering the package to was the Klingons. It could have just been another ship that they were delivering it to. And when the Klingons appeared, the cargo freighter there, the captain, was quite surprised by it. But the minute the Klingons left, he turns and goes, "What's going on?" Right there, that should have been the end of it. Let's get the hell out of here. But it ended up the way it did, and they got what they deserved. They got paid.
This is Enterprise calling. Do you read?
Report status. We are cloaked. Enemy closing on impulse power range 5,000 kilograms.
Good. It's just a turn of luck I have been waiting for.
Okay, so it's this particular scene that I really want to delve into here. The battle between the Enterprise and a bird of prey. There are two particular things here. One of them, really, I've seen this movie thousands of times probably, and there's just one particular image in this whole scene here that just confuses me. But we'll get to that one last. Let's talk about this.
Red alert, Mr. Scott.
Hey, Sam.
All power to the weapon systems.
Aye, sir.
Okay, so Kirk has ordered a red alert and has ordered all power to the weapon systems. But we need to go back a little bit. Go back to the Wrath of Khan and check something out.
Admiral on the bridge.
Battle stations.
Alright, so Kirk just got back from Regular One, goes to the bridge, orders battle stations. The ship is pulling away from Regular One on its way to the Matara Nebula, and the crew is getting ready for battle. Now look at this. Look at the amount of effort involved to get the torpedo bay ready for launching torpedoes. So now when we go back to the search for Spock, the question that needs to be asked here is the automation system capable of removing those grills, those trays from the torpedo bay before the torpedoes can fire? Again, if you think about that scene from The Wrath of Khan, how many people did it take to prep the torpedo room for combat? And yet, in just a few moments, on the search for Spock, Scotty's going to be able to have the automation system do all that in a matter of seconds?
Fire, Mr. Scott.
Okay, so now let's look at this scene very carefully here. And tell me if you don't see what I am seeing here. We've got the torpedo shooting away from the Enterprise. We've got the saucer section pointing in one direction. But if you go back to the engine area, look at the way the ship itself is facing. And we supposedly have the pylon and the nacelle, the left side of this ship, facing in a different direction. I'm staring at this thing and I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, this doesn't make sense. The angles that this ship is at versus the engines, the nacelles, and the pylon, it doesn't make any sense. Now, yeah, you have to stop this thing to look at the frame, but I just happen to notice it, and it's just staring at me, and it says, hey, something ain't right. And I am just curious, did any of you ever notice this before? Because, again, you're looking at the ship itself versus the engines, the pylon and nacelles, and they're facing in a different direction from each other. I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe it's what I'm looking at here, but this scene doesn't look right. Here's a different angle on that same scene. We have the saucer section, we have the nacelle and the pylons, and everything looks like it flows properly. But again, going back to that last shot, it didn't look right. And now look at this scene from The Wrath of Khan. The pylons do not look like they're out of position in comparison to the saucer section. It still looks like everything is fine. The search for Spock, on the other hand, everything just looked out of place. And here's another angle of the Enterprise from Star Trek The Motion Picture, and you can see the nacelles and the pylons, and it looks to be aligned properly with the Enterprise's saucer section. But again, in the search for Spock, it just didn't look right. It looked out of place. Another angle of the same pylon and the same nacelle. And I don't know, it just, again, the search for Spock, it looks like everything's out of position. I would love to know what all of you think about this. Is there a possible problem with the model that they used? Did something go wrong on the set? Or am I just not seeing this scene correctly? Please drop those comments below and let me know. Until the next time, my friends, God bless.